That's awkward. Levi, you've gone too far! That'll be 73,500,200 discoins. Since we're relatives, keep the 200. But that private sandboat you've just brought will be mine. Be sure to clean up the trash on the boat. I'm kind of a neat freak, you know. Levi, you... I... We're family after all. How could you... Okay, the tone... I don't know what tone I'm supposed to be going for here. Crying won't get you anything, dear cousin. Grow up. This is a board meeting with so many people watching. Aren't you ashamed? Hey, don't rub it with your dirty hands. 200 disc coins are not enough to pay for pink eye treatment. And don't give me that kicked puppy look. You've got to get me that money, even if it means pawning your last pair of pants. Shut up! I won't let you humiliate my father anymore! Oh, don't you worry, Chatty. I won't make you pay your father's debt. If he dies, I'll be your guardian. I must do my part for the family, mustn't I? Ah! And then I assume he decked them. Amazing. How? You should avoid moving it if you want it to heal soon. Relax. Back in the day, I once broke my leg in a fight and went clubbing as soon as I got the cast. It healed just fine after. Speaking of which, why do you care so much about me? Call it curiosity? Curious? About what? About how an ordinary boy could crack the metacarpal bone of a sinner with endure tendency. Or any sinner, period. Nonsense! How could he hurt me? I fell on my own. I slipped and fell, knocking my hand on the step. Had nothing to do with that boy. And why did you ask to see him after that fall cracked your metacarpal bone? It's only natural that an uncle would want to see his nephew who strayed into questionable territory. Or do you think I'd seek revenge on a kid? Based on what I know of you... Yes. You're right. I'm going to sell Chatty to a private hypercube mine as a coolie to cover for my medical expenses. Look at you. I'm joking. I've got no sense of humor. And why does it look like you're interrogating me? Shouldn't you be questioning Chad instead? I'm the victim. Ah. By the way, Chief, do you know what's the best part of getting wrapped in bandages? What? Look, the nurses wrote their good wishes on it. Things like, get well soon, speedy recovery, etc. Not everyone gets this kind of privilege. I know. I'm hot and loaded after all. It's normal the nurses are being particularly nice to me. But it's not like these words can actually help my injury heal faster. If I were a little more antisocial, I would even think they were being annoying. What are you trying to say? Nothing. I just think people are obsessed with seemingly useful but practically meaningless things. What's meaningful to you then? Taking revenge on your nephew? Please. I thought we were over that. Besides, what can I gain from being petty with a child? You, on the other hand, sitting here and interrogating me doesn't get any more meaningless than that. Well, I guess that's quite an achievement at least. Hey, why don't you tell me how it feels like to sit there? When you sit in that chair, the sinners must tell you whatever you want them to tell. You've got the MBCC and even the entire government behind you. And the infallible shackles. Believe it or not, it's quite hard to get sinners to tell me what I want in this room. Must feel amazing. Power's the most luxurious addiction, you see. Be careful though, not every sinner's harmless like me. You're very powerful, but even someone like you can't watch their back all the time. Believe me, I would know by now. If you run into a murderous psycho one day, no power or special ability can save your ass. Be direct, Levi. I know full well what power my position grants me, and I accept the risks and the price that come with it. But you, I can tell you don't like to be here, do you? Cooperate with me and help me understand the cause and consequences of the incident. Then I'll let you go. Interesting. You hate me, but you tell yourself he's a sinner. Might be useful someday. That's exhausting. If someone disgusts you, you should simply punch them in the face, like my little nephew did. I thought you... This is Chad, right? The one who hit you? I told you, he didn't do it. I fell on my own. I was shocked too. Didn't think that kid would really dare to do it. What do you mean? I mean, Chad is the son of my cousin. I watched him grow up. Growing up, he's always followed me around, calling me Uncle Levi. I was heartbroken that this should have happened. If you were that close, why would he attack you? Because of a minor dispute over some property? Minor dispute? Did you know that after the Public Security Bureau arrived and subdued Chad, they found a gun on him? Had he been a little more reckless, it wouldn't have been just a fist fight. He would have shot you. Nonsense! Chad has always been a decent kid. How'd he possibly want to shoot me? Why did he carry a gun to the board meeting? I'm afraid this is no minor dispute. It was a civil one. Your cousin didn't file for bankruptcy protection. Bankruptcy, huh? He just bought a villa with 3 balconies, private pool, and a central thermostat. You can't imagine how cozy that house is. Even I'm getting envious. I digress. Frankly, I know Chad too well. That boy's always broody and alarmingly quiet. He's a good kid. Even if puberty screwed up part of his brain, I bet he wouldn't come up with the idea of carrying a gun. So you're saying someone put him up to it? Do I have to spell it out? You don't know my cousin. The fourth shareholder, Fort Limited, with 2 companies and a large assembly plant under his name. Sounds like a respectable fella, yeah? In reality, being a respectable fella means acting respectable and leaving all the dirty deeds to others. He won't even hesitate to use his own son. He feels no such thing as guilt. You mean your cousin is the true culprit? Hey, don't give me that doubtful look. At first I thought Chad hit me because he didn't like the way I talked to his dad. But I didn't know about the gun. What a shame. I've always spoiled that kid. Hey, that's a little too much, drama queen. You can't tell how heartbroken I am, then at least look at my arm. Do you know how hard it's been to relieve myself in the past few days? I've been shot by a gun before. No need to remind me of how it feels. But Chad, my little nephew, he suffers worse pain. He has such a kind heart, but now he's been misled by his dad and his gang of so-called friends. At first I thought it was fine, even if you wouldn't let me see him. A few days in the cell helped calm him down. At least he'll know he shouldn't act on impulse again. But I swear I didn't know about this. If I don't go and have a chat with him, he may really cross into criminal territory. It's very hard not to take your eagerness to see your nephew as a potential plan of revenge. Or, as you've said, perhaps you want to use Chad to take revenge on his father. But he's my family! Do you really not trust me? I've looked into your background, which has led me to believe that you don't deserve my trust. The people in your family took over your deceased parents' property when you were a teenager, but in just a few years your family all either fled or died. Things didn't end up well for them. Claiming someone as your family doesn't sound reassuring at all. That hurts. And you can't be saying these things without proof. Rich folks like us are exposed to more threats. You can't just blame everything on me, it's unfair. Moreover, my nephew. He's so young and innocent, I can't bear watching him misstep and become my cousin's hired gun. I mean, Chief, is it your hobby to save poor sinners from their plight? Or does my pitiful nephew not deserve your saving just because he's not a sinner? My saving? He's under no death threat. Oh, of course, I know Chatty's life's not in danger. It's only a metaphor. But imagine, a young man trapped between his father and his uncle. His father's been teaching him and forcing him to shoot his uncle. How will he know how to handle such a messed up situation? Now is probably the darkest moment of his life. He has no one to rely on, no one to listen to him. God knows what kind of despair he's in. If I don't visit him and help him sort things out, he may just stray onto the wrong path and end up a scoundrel like me. So far, we've found no evidence his father may have manipulated him to do it. All the more reason to see him then. You won't make any progress if you don't ask him directly. If you're that worried, why don't you come with me? Haven't you got the shackles? What can I do with that thing on me? You're not someone who'd waste energy on something that doesn't benefit you. You're manipulative and vengeful, and you don't work for nothing. That's your style. What can you gain from this? You still remember what happened before. That was just a game. Using unconventional means to reach your goal in a game isn't illegal, is it? Oh, he remembers everything that happened during the event with... Speaking of which, Chief, don't you think we all live in a game? In more ways than one for your case. But yes, I agree. Since we're already in it, it's only fair that we try to have some fun. Following rules is just too boring. Top players are often the ones who found the loopholes. If you don't get caught, you win everything. If you do, well, you get kicked out. Sounds fair to me. So reality is just a game to you. Morals and law don't mean anything to you as long as it's fun. Oh, come on, don't blow it out of proportion. First of all, there are many types of fun. It's fun to watch someone you dislike trip over, just like it's fun to see a loved one happy. For example, when I say I want to have a chat with Chatty, I'm also doing that for fun. You want to amuse yourself by mocking your nephew. That's a reasonable guess, though it's quite an interesting proposition. That's not what I have in mind. I'm going to see him to feed my empathy. Huh? Does it sound strange to you? That someone like me can have empathy too. You have many fearsome sinners in the MBCC too. Are they all animals without a bit of human nature in them? I suppose not. I may not be morally flawless, but surely I'm not worse than a murderer or an arsonist. Why does it feel like he's naming specific sinners there? I'm probably doing this because Chad reminds me of my young self. Cute and naive, thinking that simply because you care about others, they'll return the favor. Sadly, kindness will always be negative equity. Those who still keep their conscience and guilt are doomed to be eaten alive by swindlers, sinners. Also, holy shit, kindness will always be negative equity is such a banger line. Cute and naive sounds like the polar opposite of you. Fuck was that? Cute and naive sounds like the polar opposite of you. I thought you were a swindler yourself. Let's not dig up the past. I'm a decent businessman in the real world. I have all the normal human emotions. I just tend to focus on having fun. Can prove it. Oh? Sure takes a lot to convince you. Yeah, what the hell, why are we so hard on Levi specifically for some reason? I might give up if this goes for another 30 minutes. After all, it doesn't feel very cost effective to waste so much energy on a nephew who stepped out of line. I can give you a chance to visit Chad, but if I notice any improper behavior... I know, you've got the almighty shackles. If I really end up selling Chatty to a private hypercube mine as a coolie, you'll make me pay for it. Stop wasting time here. Let's go! I really don't know what Levi sounds like. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Can I maybe, get a sample of their voice? Oh my god, I have Shackle 5 on him.
Hey, wanna know what you can buy from me with your life?
Okay, I'm doing a good enough impression. As good as my stupid man-child voice can allow, I guess. How do you plan to save Chad? How? Of course, by telling him you only live once. You want to stay alive, stay away from scumbags. Then you'll be the first person he should stay away from. Here it goes again. Where does all that hostility come from? It's my nephew. Can't you at least have some trust in me? Trust requires foundation. Then you seem to be implying, Chief, that you start off distrusting literally everyone, which I don't think is very healthy. Nor safe. Do you think I'm gonna beat up my poor little nephew with a golf club in the jail? Come on, I'm not a psycho. Okay, that's a Chekhov's gun that sentence was a Chekhov's gun if I've ever seen one. You're indeed not that kind of abuser. But it's totally possible for you to sell him to a private hypercube mine as a coolie. Why do we keep repeating that? Oh. And that's what we call a sense of humor. You're getting there. Oh my. They all say the MBCC is a huge prison, but compared to here, your bureau's like a resort. Chad, brawling and causing injury in public and suspected to have possessed a firearm illegally. That him? Yes, that's him. No wonder you look so familiar. Isn't this Neil? It's been a while, Levi. How's it going? Absolutely wonderful. I just got my arm broken by my lovely little nephew. By the way, we haven't gone out for some fun together in a long time. Are you free these days? Why don't we catch up sometime? You've had enough fun. If you want more, I'm more than willing to fill your eye sockets with the happy shots in these 4 magazines. I like that one. You sound a lot more fun than you were the last time we met 2 years ago. So when are we gonna hang out? Everyone misses you out there. Can you guys stop being gay for a moment? We're here to request a meeting with Chad. My apologies. I'll get you your visit permission now. Levi just apparently has a knack for annoying everyone. Chief, don't be fooled by his humble disguise. He used to be very well known as the son of a billionaire in East Side. Just like you? Come on, I'm nothing like him. Although we did get along quite well in the past, he was a complete lounge lizard. Alright, I have to admit, I inherited my wealth from my dead parents too, but I'm different than him. At least I support my lifestyle by running my own business now. Back then, thanks to his rich and powerful dad, all he did was show off his scars, hook up with girls, and get into fights and trouble. How did he end up a prison guard? Well, his family went bankrupt. In East Side, when a family loses their power and receives no help from a white knight, their fortune will soon be divided and drained. I take it that you got a share too, didn't you? His dad had an auto parts company. That explains this showing off cars thing. Around that time, I happened to want to try assembling my own car. I couldn't resist it. So did you two fall out with each other? Don't say that. The hostility comes only from his side. I still treasure our past friendship. When he got married, I even sent a cash gift. Don't tell me you were behind his family's bankruptcy too. Stop joking. That's beneath me. Room 4011. You have only half an hour, sir. A brawling case can usually be resolved if the victim is willing to sign a settlement agreement. But since he's also been charged with illegal firearm possession, he must go to court. No worries, we've already gone through the bail procedures. As for the brawling case, what a coincidence, the victim happens to be right here. Got a pen? I'll write the agreement now. No. He's injured his arm. I'll do it. You're very irritating. Indeed! Being popular is too easy. Just be extra careful with everything you do and try to please everyone you see. An ass-kissing clown can be popular everywhere. I'm a businessman, and I prefer being everyone's friend. A friend you don't necessarily like, but can't do without. So, Leech. You're getting funnier. My dear Chatty, look who's here to visit you. Uncle. My good nephew. Is the hygiene here really this abominable? When was the last time you washed your hair? Why's your hair all tangled up, my handsome little guy? You look too weak. You look weak too. You're so skinny. No, Did someone bully you? Tell me who did it. Uncle will take care of it. family's not some nobody in Eastside. We don't seek trouble, but we also won't tolerate it. Remember that chubby boy in the other class in your elementary school? Didn't I hang him up on a power pole for several hours until he pissed his pants? Don't be afraid. Whatever happens, Uncle's here to help you. You hit me, but I won't hold it against you. I've indeed gone too far. You're young. It's normal you'd get upset hearing I used those words with your dad. And I did injure myself by falling. Not all of this is your fault. Chad, are you not feeling well? No. Chad, perhaps you don't know me. I recognize you. You're the chief of the MBCC. You know what kind of place I manage? My job requires me to interrogate many people, among which many are experts at lying. But I know you're not one of them. You're an honest kid. If you have experienced something bad or received any kind of threat, you can tell me. Right. I guarantee everything she says is true. In any case, I'll ensure your safety. Even if the culprit behind this incident is someone close to you, you have nothing to fear. No, Chief, you've misunderstood. I know you're not here for the things that have already come to light. It's about that gun, isn't it? Yes, Chad. Tell me, where did that gun come from? I was deceived. By who? On my birthday, Dad suddenly told me our family was going bankrupt. I asked him what happened, but he kept sighing and refused to tell me. So I went to my friend Ronald, who's my dad's chauffeur's son. Ronald told me Levi, my uncle, framed my dad and made him lose almost $1 billion. He said he even brought some guys to wreck our office, forcing my dad to pay his debt. Ronald said we shouldn't just let him humiliate us. He got hold of a 3D printed gun that could bypass the security check. What the fuck? And it was a genuine gun? He wanted to at least win back face, but he couldn't get a chance to approach Uncle. Ronald, yeah? I knew that little punk was up to no good. Don't worry. He was already caught by Eastside's Public Security Bureau. I was afraid and angry. I didn't want to rely on my friend to stand up for me, so I took his gun. At the meeting, listening to what Uncle and Dad were saying, I thought everything Ronald said was true. Okay, I'll admit I got a bit carried away then. I made myself look like a villain. I acted on impulse and rushed over. I don't know what got into me. After that, before the sheriffs arrived, Dad held me down and shouted at me, telling me not to do silly things. But I could feel that he was furious to the point he was trembling. He knew I had a gun with me. He was blaming me for not shooting. It wouldn't work anyway. I'm a sinner. Guns can't kill me. And how did you break your bones? Simply by falling. After I came here, an officer told me he'd never heard of any schemes conspired by Uncle. Dad, on the other hand, kept buying new yachts and villas, even when the companies were making losses. He even kept a few mistresses. He said my dad had been coveting Uncle's business. Uncle doesn't have any heirs. If he dies, all his property will go under Dad's name. I'm sorry, Uncle. I let my impulse get the best of me. Sorry. Silly boy. If you'd thought of getting a gun license earlier, you wouldn't have ended up here. It doesn't cost that much to get one in the east side. Now you're in jail with a case to settle. Jeez. Forget it. It's all in the past now. Seeing you reminds me of my past self. Hey, we've all been young and reckless once. You're a grown man now. Lesson learned. Don't ever let others take advantage of you again. As soon as you get into real trouble, those people will forget you're their family. Yes, I'm a grown man now. There, stop crying. You're ruining my bandages. My wound's gonna get infected. Uncle, I'm sorry. Okay, apologies accepted. I've already taken care of your bail. Say no more. Once you get out, cooperate with the sheriffs on the investigation. Your case is rather minor. You won't get a heavy sentence. When this is all over, get yourself together, you hear me? Uncle, I'm really... Alrighty. I can't stand another minute on this crappy place. You haven't got many belongings here, have you? Actually, forget it. I'll get you whatever you need once we get out. Let's go! Yeah, like what the fuck? Why are we so sus on Levi? It wasn't really that surprising that he was kind? Unless I eat my words here. You behave surprisingly like a decent uncle today. What? A guy like me can't be a decent uncle? A nightclub frequenter, sports car hobbyist, and womanizer. Doesn't sound like a decent uncle to me. I do it for my business. It's called networking, okay? I didn't expect you to forgive someone who's harmed you so easily. As far as I know, that's not who you are. And who am I? Someone who's involved in commercial fraud, blackmail, and unfair competition. Your victims are everywhere in East Side. Some of them are even your family. You're very good at camouflaging yourself with that rich air disguise. People underestimate you. They don't know what they're getting into when they cross you. You think you're being so smooth and flawless. In the face of powerful intelligence, the truth surfaces instantly. Chief, don't you find it exhausting to live like that? Of course, we've all been childish and dreamed of being the servant of justice and punishing all crimes and unfairness. It's a satisfying idea. Don't you ever get bored? This has nothing to do with satisfaction. You're right. But the crimes I committed in the past, come and get me once you have the evidence. I promise I won't try to get away with them when the time comes. As for today's a good day. Let's put away those depressing thoughts for now, okay? Has your empathy been properly fed? Oh, more than that, dear Chief. You can't imagine how wonderful today has been to me. Believe it or not, I haven't had so much fun in years. What other fun did you have today? Oh, tons. Like seeing you finally develop a sense of humor and Chad realizing his dad's a scumbag. Like knowing what's gonna happen soon. Hey, kiddo, wake up. We're home. Uh, no, no way! That silly boy. Did you see his face? Oh god, this is killing me. I've held it in for so long just for this moment. Oh no, I can't see it clearly from here. I have to get off. My condolences, Chatty. I also just got the news. A fire broke out at your home earlier today. Cause is not known yet. But don't worry. No one's hurt. Your dad's not there either. He went missing after getting out of court 2 days ago. Someone saw him flee on a speedboat last night. Court? Forgot to tell you, he was charged with embezzlement a few days ago. The sum was too big. Guess he couldn't handle the stress and fled. Don't worry. Nothing can happen to a man like him. Uncle Levi, did you do it? You can say that. It was my money he embezzled after all. 1.4 billion. I can't just let it slide, can I? Your dad left in a rush, so he couldn't take too many things with him. If I sell the property under his name, I can cover parts of the loss of my company. I'm already thankful for that. What? You said? What did I say? Oh, I said you're a grown man now. Your dad is a scum, so you must depend on yourself from now on. Let's call it a day. You're home now. There's nothing more I can help you with. Why? Why what? I'm warning you, don't even think about tagging along. Legally, you're not an orphan yet. I'm not gonna adopt you. But you... Hey, cop, do something to this kid. He won't let me go! Let me know if you need anything, Chatty. Though your Uncle Levi may not be of help. Bye! Did you see that? Did you see it? See what? Whoa, easy, easy! Why are you suddenly mad? What did you do? I made an example of him. I'm the owner of an East Side enterprise, and someone was trying to embezzle my money. If I don't punish him hard, others will want to give it a go too. Don't you understand? But then, of course, it's not the point. The point is that it's fun. Fun? Are you out of your mind? It looks like you don't get it yet. The most interesting part of this whole thing. I guess humor can't be nurtured in a day. Alright, I'll explain it to you. Look, Chatty first found out his dad and his good friend weren't exactly good people. He was used and ended up in prison. Then, he got the only lifeline, his uncle, whom he'd hit, forgave him, and came to save him. He even comforted him. Of course, he was touched and crying happy tears. He now had a family of choice. But that didn't last long before he found out his home was on fire and the uncle he just thought was a savior turned out to be a complete douchebag. In just a few days, he lost everything he treasured, and it all happened because he was an idiot. Isn't that super funny? I'm glad I came today, so I got to witness this. Stop crying, silly boy. What'll crying get you? You should be laughing instead. From now on, you're free. Everything I was binding you before is now gone. Now go do something. Go do a crime. Whatever pleases you, just go do it. Are you alright? You got me again. You're trying to run away. It's not like I can get rid of your shackles. I've just seen a good show tonight, so I'm in a great mood. If you let me borrow your car, we can go for a ride. I've missed East Side's night view. It'll be the icing on the cake. What do you say, Chief? What are you running away from? Running away? Emotions you can't face, truths you can't say aloud, or these evil acts even you yourself can't tolerate. You just called me a worthless scum minutes ago. Since when do I have moral standards? You said it yourself. That kid reminds you of your past self. Ruining your past self with your own hands must feel awful. Oh, way to go, Chief. No wonder they all say you're different. I thought you were gonna blurt out some meaningless bullshit again. Things like morals and boundaries, that really hit home. They forgot to censor the word bullshit. And I got to voice act someone saying bullshit in Path to Nowhere. Feels great. Morals and boundaries are not meaningless. Coming from you, from your position, that's surprising to hear. Not just morals and boundaries. Trust, kinship, friendship, justice, fairness. All of those are worth nothing in Eastside. The family and friends you trust can backstab you. The justice and fairness you believe in won't even look you in the eye. Sometimes you meet someone you can talk to, but in this hellhole you always die alone, all by yourself in the end. It's like you suit up and get ready to go on stage. The collar is stiff and pokes your throat. You've rehearsed for a whole month, and when you see the audience, you get a cramp in your calf. You're afraid you'll mess up and disappoint them. And now the organizer tells you the show's cancelled because of the rain. You look at the scattered audience and decide to grit your teeth and perform anyway, not missing even a single step. But once the show's over, they'll still leave. That way of life's too boring. So boring it drives you crazy and makes you want to set everything on fire. Everything will disappear in the end. Morals, friendship, everything you spent so much effort in cultivating will eventually end up as useless as toilet paper. Hey, you can't badmouth toilet paper. TP's amazing. It is as important as the invention of the refrigerator. Sometimes, I think the world's a game. They made us so short-sighted and ugly that when the day comes that they have to destroy us, they can do it guiltlessly. If that's the case, why not seize the day and just have fun? Take me as an example. It makes me the happiest to see the thing you treasure get taken away and trampled over. In a hellhole like Eastside, that happens way too often. We live a happy life. I care about nothing but having fun in the moment. What's wrong with that? You're wrong. You always say life is meaningless. It may be true. Yes, we live in a meaningless life in this city. My existence may be meaningless too, but meaning is a choice we make. No matter what you choose, be it wealth, power, fame, dream, justice, or love, it can become the meaning of your existence. Love? You mean the dopamine that only lasts for 3 months? The hallucinogen that gives you the illusion that you're not alone? That's what you do, pretending you don't care about anything. But you do care about Chad, don't you? Oh, what makes you think that? Everything that Chad cherishes, his father, his friend, and you, his evil uncle. Everyone has only been using him, hurting him. You've chased all of them away from Chad. You've said Chad reminds me of your past self, but to you a soft spot is a weakness and innocence a sin. You're playing a life mentor in the way you find apt, aren't you? You say you don't care about anything, but that's not true. It's just a shame that in the past, you didn't have a caring uncle like yourself. Are you saying Chad hasn't been through enough? Should I go back and get him Should I go back to get him and throw him into a private hypercube mine now? I won't allow it. Considering that no one is hurt, I can give you a chance to right the wrongs. Come back with me. Make amends for the losses their family has suffered. You sound like you're doing baby talk. Is that all? Alright, I'll go back with you. Even if we can't truly understand each other, we've got no other choice but to stick together. Just like even though my cousin and I are both scumbags, we're still Chatty's dad and uncle. I removed the cancer in my company and had the most fun I've had in years. Tonight. I suppose this is a good ending. Don't you feel like you've gained a caring uncle too? No kidding. Must feel pretty amazing. So when are you gonna bail me out? I'm getting really bored at the bureau. Sorry, even as your uncle. Shouldn't it be auntie? I have no say over that. Even if we put aside the other crimes you've committed before. Though no one was hurt, instigation of arson is a crime. I'll investigate whether you were involved in this. If that's the case, then you'll face a criminal charge way worse than Chad's. Get ready to serve in the Bureau for the rest of your life, my good nephew. You've really made progress with your sense of humor. That was cool. Just like with fucking what's her name? Just like with Ignis. Yeah, Ignis. I kinda regret not doing that interrogation sooner. That was pretty cool. Levi's actually a really cool character. I guess it's a commentary on late-stage capitalism or some bullshit. I don't know, I don't feel like reading too much into it at the moment, like I usually do. It was just a really fun interrogation for a really fun character. Like, what's there to say? Do I think it's like top tier or peak back to nowhere storytelling? I don't think so, but for the most part, it does everything I love out of the game. It's not the best at it, but it's very good. I know I'm saying I was disappointed or that it's mid, but it's just that in comparison to every other interrogation I've seen so far, it's hard for me to say in good conscience that it was peak. It was great, I loved every moment of it. But it definitely isn't the best. In fact, I'd compare it to this person right here who conveniently happens to be here. A great story throughout, but one that doesn't leave me... but one I won't leave with challenged worldviews or an interesting new take on an interesting new perspective to ponder, or a good story that would stick with me for years to come, kind of thing. He's just a run-of-the-mill rich prick. And honestly, what more could you ask for a character in Path to Nowhere? That's what we come here. We love pricks. A know-it-all, overpowered-ass fucking prick. A prick that knows too much and you can't ever know anything about. A prick who's just given up on everything in life. Because everyone else was apparently a prick to them. A prick who just wants to be a prick to herself but ends up being a prick to others as well because of it. I don't know. Oh, and of course, the OG prick. The best prick of them all. Where is she? Where the fuck's Hella?